The herb garden is bursting with flavor, and it's time to capture it before the winter frost sets in. Today, I'm harvesting some fresh herbs and transforming them into beautiful aromatic herb salts so I can enjoy them for the several months to come. If you have more herbs than you know what to do with, you are not alone and you're in the right place. Let's preserve some herbs. Okay, so today I am going to make some herb salts using fresh herbs. And the first one that I wanted to try was with rosemary because I have a lot of it and I'm not going to use this for fresh eating. So the recipe calls for 3 cups of loosely packed fresh herbs. And because this is going to be going into a food processor, although you don't need a food processor necessarily to make herb salts, you can use a knife and just go to town on a cutting board with some salt. But I'm just going to start cutting a bunch of this off. And we're going to take and you just cut it where the stems meet the main stem. It's not rocket science, you guys. Don't overthink it. Just going to grab a whole bunch. And you can make herb salts with almost any herb. A lot of the woody herbs work really well, like rosemary or thyme or things like that. You can do basil, you can do parsley, you can do cilantro. Pretty much anything that you would use as a garnish or as a topping or a seasoning on a dish, you can make. It's basically just mixing it with salt and you're using that as your seasoning. Let me go up here. A bunch of these up here. Yeah, this is a lot of rosemary. I mean, even if I'm just like roasting some chicken or whatnot, I use maybe 1 sprig, so I can cut this down quite a bit. And then by preserving it and making it into a salt, I'll be able to use this for months. It'll stay good for, I don't know, let me add a little bit more. It'll stay good for months in the fridge. Grab a few more. And this is going to be really good. I think that's probably enough. Let me get a couple more. Good measure. Oop. One, and I'll get this guy back here. Let's see. Look like 3. Yeah, that's plenty. Okay. So I will meet you back in the kitchen and we're going to make some herb salts to preserve our fresh herbs of the season. Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Val. If you're new, today we are making herb salts, and it's one of the many ways to preserve your fresh herbs, to be able to use them and enjoy that fresh herb flavor over the coming months. I am doing rosemary today, but you can use pretty much any herb that you've got growing in your garden that you have an abundance of, that you know you're not going to be able to use up or eat fresh before the frost comes or before the plant, is done for the season. All you need is 3 cups of loosely packed herbs, some coarse salt, a jar, and I'm going to use a food processor, but you can as easily just use a big cutting board, put all your herbs and your salt on there, and just keep cut them up until they get that desired consistency. Using a food processor for this just makes it a little bit easier. And that's pretty much it. So once you've got your herbs, wash them thoroughly, dry them completely, get rid of any, discolored leaves or anything that doesn't look great, and you're good to go. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to dump it directly in here as we go through it. And rosemary, thyme, anything that's got one of those woody stems, you don't want to use those woody stems. So you just want to take the little leaves off. The easiest way to do that is just hold it and do that and just dump it in. And then I'll just pick off these guys, just because the woody stems are not going to get chopped up too well, and you don't want to eat them because it's going to all get incorporated into this salt mixture, which is going to become a little problematic if you've got stems in there. But anything that has leaves, and you can use like any herb that you've got: parsley, thyme. I'm using rosemary today, sage, cilantro, mint, oregano. Anything that you would use, anything that can give your dish just a little bit of extra kick. And it's salty. We're making a salt today, so you want to use it sparingly in any of your dishes because it will be salty because it's a salt. It is a salt. So anything like using it as a rub on meats, sprinkling it sparingly on a vegetable dish, anywhere that you would use salt. So if any recipe calls for salt, I would use it like a 1-to-1. So if you've got like a teaspoon of salt in a recipe and you want to give it that extra flavor, you could just use a teaspoon of this mixture. And the salt acts as the preservative here, which is why it's going to last long. Once we do this, we mix it up. Honestly, this is the longest part that you're seeing right here, because once we put the salt in, it's actually going to be super quick. And then we'll put it in the fridge, in a jar, in the fridge. We'll let it sit there for, I don't know, 1 to 2 weeks for the flavors to meld, to blend a little bit. And then, shake it every few days just to mix it up nice. And then you can start using it, and it'll stay good in the fridge for up to 6 months. So this is something, it makes a great gift. So if you're looking for something like a holiday gift or something like that, who wouldn't want the flavor of fresh herbs captured and receive it as a gift? It's amazing. It's right up there with jam. Anybody gives me one of those, homemade jam or infused herb oil or herb salts, that's all the good stuff right there. All right, we're almost there. If I was using like basil, this would have been done already. This is the long part. And I have a Band-Aid on right now because I cut myself. So that's probably impeding my progress a little bit. But I'm excited about this. I've never done this with rosemary before, so I am excited. And it was the first time that I've grown rosemary in my herb garden. So I'm excited. And we've been using it quite a bit, actually. We've been using it on just throwing some sprigs in when we're roasting chicken and whatnot. That's done. Oops. Can I drop it in there? I did. Well, we're going to go with it. Yeah, so you can give it as a gift. You can have a bunch of different kinds available. You can have a basil salt. You can have a rosemary salt, depending on what it is that you like to season your food with. Or you can mix them together. Mix them up together. Like, I don't know, mint basil would probably be interesting. I like to preserve my herbs. I mainly dry my herbs using a small dehydrator, and the ones that I dry, it's mainly for herbal tea, like mint, lemon balm, and chamomile. Those are my 3 herbs that I like to dehydrate. But now that I'm going to be doing more of these salts for some of the other herbs, I do parsley. Not parsley. I do basil, but I love pesto, you guys. So I kind of keep the basil for pesto or for like a salad dressing. I make a really good, there's a really good Green Goddess salad dressing or vegetable dressing, any kind of dressing. You know what? I'll put a link down below to that because it's so good. You need half a cup of salt, a coarse salt. I'm using kosher salt. Sea salt would be good too. Just a half a cup of this. And we're going to give it a whoosh, give it a whir. And that's pretty much it. Let me just flatten that a little bit. And that's it. Super easy. I mean, some people dry their herbs first. And you can. I just like anything that's easy, that's quick and simple and easy. All right, so we're going to pour this into. I'm going to get all the little salt in there. We're good. I'm going to put the cover on, and we're going to pulse it. Now, the only thing to remember, I made a bit of a mess. The only thing is you just want to be careful. You don't want it to become like a puree or a paste. So we're just going to pulse it until it grinds everything together. Rosemary has pretty tough leaves. I'm going to keep going. Pardon the noise. Keep going. I'll put it on low. See, I want to make sure that it doesn't get pasty. Keep going just a little bit more. Oh, that smells so good. You know what? I think I'm going to leave it like that. Okay. So now, let me just clean up this a bit. I made a mess here. Okay. So we're going to take this off. That over here. Get this out of the way. And we're going to pour our salt into the jar. And that's it, you guys. Let me get a spatula, a little one. It should still be dry because it's a salt. Yeah, it's dry. That is amazing. It smells so good. And we'll just keep this in the fridge. And anytime I want to add just a little kick, a little something extra, I don't trust myself getting this into this jar properly. Let's see. I'll do it slowly. I gotta do this slowly. I don't have a funnel. That would be really handy right about now. I'm getting there. And that's pretty much it. But like putting this in a nice jar with a label on it and giving it as a gift, it's so awesome. Patience is not my strong suit, you guys. I'm trying to control my I'm trying to be patient and do this slowly. I probably could have spooned it in as well. That would have worked too. Yeah, I've never done like a blend of multiple herbs, but you absolutely can. I've seen recipes where you add a clove of garlic to that mixture and let it get chopped up and incorporated, which would also be awesome. It works just the same way as any kind of seasoning. Any kind of seasoning would. All right, we're almost there. So that's pretty much it. And I find it's a really great way to preserve fresh herb flavor. We're always looking for different ways to do that. And at this time of year, there we go. At this time of year, the herbs are like going nuts. So here we go. So that's it. So whenever you wanted to use it, let me just give it a good shake. I'm going to put this in the fridge. That's amazing. Oh, I'm going to leave this in the fridge. Anytime I want to use it, I'll just take a spoon, sprinkle it wherever I want to use it, and it'll last for up to 6 months in the fridge. So it's nice to have that access to that fresh herb flavor over the course of the winter. That's the main goal, is to be able to preserve it. Let's see if you can see this up close, because it's so awesome. Let me see if I can get you a close-up view of this. There. See, it's like herbs and salt. Amazing. And that's it. It's super easy. You could make, multiple batches. You can make it one jar per herb. You can make a blend, whatever you've got on hand. It's super amazing to be able to preserve it. And that's it, you guys. If you like the video, give it a like. Feel free to subscribe for more garden to kitchen tips and tricks. And if you try it, or if you know some good blends for herb salts, I would love to hear it, and leave a comment. That's it for today, everybody. Happy gardening.